All right, guys, the first step, and I promise you, ignore everything that I've said so far regarding planning uplifts and networking and doing your events. They all come secondary.
Okay.
Okay. Your primary focus is your cash flow. If you cannot have a reasonable lifestyle to start with, everything else becomes very difficult and or start to suffer. So if let's say you're sitting on very little money, you focus on Rent-to-HMOs. So when you leave this call, your job is to pick up the phone and start to call the local HMO landlords. How many calls do I need to make before I start to really get landlords telling me yes or giving me a yes? As many as it takes. I literally sat down in my life and made more calls in a day than you can imagine. Literally sitting down and calling people for 16 hours straight, many days of my life. Okay? You can get the local landlords list from the local council. You can take a premium version of LinkedIn for 14 days for free. Okay? You can go to the local networking groups. That's your WhatsApp groups, that's your Facebook groups, that's your LinkedIn groups. Okay. You can also visit these networking groups. There are breakfast clubs. There is the Meetup app. Do you guys know about the Meetup app?
No.
There's all sorts of clubs there. When you start to find local landlords to give you their HMOs to manage, remember, your pitch needs to be based on the GROW model. From the videos that you're watching as we speak, the 190 hours, there are videos which share with you how to analyze a deal from the back to the front. I'll give you an example. Let's say you look at a 6-bedroom HMO, okay? And let's say you can charge 150. I don't know which, like, I know which areas you're not, but I'm not going to give you particular numbers. But let's say if you're in Birmingham, you can charge 150 a week for a decent ensuite room, right, Natasha?
Yeah.
Okay, hypothetically. Again, it would depend on where exactly in Birmingham you are. You know, if you're in a really posh area, down the high street, you could charge 200. If you're in Romford, Essex, Grace, I know you can charge 200 plus these days. I had sourced one HMO in Romford. The guys are charging 200, 220 a week for a decent ensuite room. Moro, if you are in southeast London, you can charge anywhere between 200 to all the way up to 300 a week for a decent ensuite room. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. So you work your numbers backwards. Always remember, when you're appraising a deal, irrespective of the kind of deal it is, if it's a land deal, development deal, conversion deal, flip deal, BMV deal, it doesn't really matter what kind of deal you're appraising, you always appraise it backwards. That means from how much revenue is going to generate or how much total money is going to come in at the end, right? In a development, it's GDV, which is gross development value. In Rent-to-HMO space, it's the total rental that you can potentially achieve. If you need to test the market, you can go to spare room, give a dummy ad, just watch and observe how many calls you get and what are people prepared to pay. Okay. So let's say if you can charge, let's say in Natasha's case, you could charge 150 a week. And let's say if it's 6 rooms, that's 900 a week. How much is that a month? It's roughly about 4 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, it's 4 weeks plus, right? It's roughly just shy of 4 grand or close to 4 grand. Okay. For a HMO like this, if let's say you look at the bills, I would say the electric and the gas bills would be in the region of just shy of £1,000, 800, 900, 1,000. Okay. Then you'll have the council tax and bits and pieces. You could potentially pay maybe about 1,800 for the rental, maybe 1,600 if you're lucky. Are you with me on this?
But it's more now.
Yeah.
It's more now. Yeah, but yeah.
Are you with me on this? So you want to appraise it backwards. And remember, if you have void period, you will not make profits. In the times that we are in, there is so much rental demand for properties. I put a property up on Facebook, one of my properties. I had 500 people apply in 2 weeks. 500 Facebook marketplace. Really good pictures, really good description. I was bombarded. I couldn't even manage the number of people applying. I went for a viewing. I couldn't even manage the number of people coming in. Okay? But you got to do a good job. Really good pictures, really good description. It's almost like you're giving people enough information to make an informed decision before they even turn up. Are you with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, finding, and even when you're negotiating deals with landlords, your pitch would be based on the appraisal that you would do before you go and meet him. Okay. So it'll be like, okay, here is what we can potentially achieve in the local region. The likely is the landlord would already know. Okay. When you will do this appraisal, the guy will see that you're detailed. That creates more trust than anything else that you can imagine. If someone approaches me and has the best communication skills, uses the best grow model, and then shows me numbers and is loose on numbers, what do you think I'm going to do?
You're going to at least consider speaking to him.
No, I'm going to immediately reject it model. Seasoned investors are detailed, and I mean meticulously detailed. Okay? If you cannot answer your numbers, I mean, guys, you watch Shark Tank, right? Or whatever it is in UK.
Yeah, the UK.
What is it called in UK? Shark Tank, right?
No, it's
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den. The guys who do the best are the ones who are detailed.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you appraise this deal, let's say $4,000 coming in, electric bill, gas bill, council tax, water bill, maintenance bill, so on and so forth, and leaves you with, it should really leave you with £1,000 a week. £1,000 a month. Okay. If it leaves you 1,000, I would grab that deal. Okay. Even when you look at, if let's say someone doesn't want to give you on a rent-to-rent basis, just tell them, look, I'll manage it for you for 15%. Even at 15%, you will still make £600 to £800 a month. Are you with me?
Yeah.
You're gonna meet some really stubborn landlords, I promise you that. Okay? So just because you're not able to negotiate a rent-to-rent deal doesn't mean you let that deal go away. Okay? Just tell them, look, I'll manage it for you. All the money that comes in, I'll just charge 15%. Are you with me? Okay? Remember, your aim is to get to the 10 mark and then the 20 mark. Even when you get to the 10, you're likely going to make closer to 10 grand, anywhere between 6 to 10 grand. Okay? If you can grab hold of a larger block, okay, you'll do a lot better. Okay? Now, let me tell you the trick. I would want you to get some experience managing some properties. And then you could potentially look at a block. Let's say you call a developer. At the moment, a lot of developers are struggling to sell. Okay? Purely because they've got a certain cost, they got to make a profit margin. Properties are not selling at asking prices. So lots of developers who are considering this rent-to-rent model. Okay? You can approach these developers. The trick again here is that either you don't take no risk on you, that means you just charge management and use Airbnb style model. Or if you are going to take it all on yourself, that you make sure you do a good appraisal so you don't lose money. That means a very conservative model. If let's say Airbnb shows or booking.com shows you can charge 120 a night, take 100. If you get that 120, take that 20 as a cherry on the cake. Okay? Work with conservative numbers. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I have one. So we put the property on Airbnb and Booking.com, is there a way we can manage possible double bookings?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there a way we can manage the property if it's put on Airbnb and Booking.com, just to save
Of
double
course you can. There's something called a channel manager. Channel managers basically manages the schedule or the diary in essence. Okay, so if you get a booking from Booking.com and 2 seconds later or 1 second later a booking comes from Airbnb, it rejects it.
Okay.
Okay, so there are channel managers out there. I use QBook. I'm pretty sure you can find others. It's a very easy Google search.
Okay.
Yeah, Natasha, there's many others. You have Smoogle, you have Avivo. There's a couple.
There's quite a few. There's
Yeah,
loads
there's
of
quite
them.
a few. Yeah.
Do some research before you sign up to one. We are signed up with QBook. Remember, QBook is more inclined towards hotels, but I'm pretty sure they can still manage, single unit properties as well. Remember, you have Expedia as well. Expedia owns 220 channels worldwide. So if you are sitting in some remote country in the world, Egypt, or they have probably another channel that's something else, it's called something else, but the database is connected to Expedia, which is expedia.com.
Okay.
So the biggest online channel portal is not booking.com, it's Expedia. Okay, but Expedia is not that dominant in UK. The most dominant in UK is by far Booking.com and Airbnb. Obviously, they both have their own spaces and locations. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And there are many other tools. Actually, in fact, Natasha, remind me not today, tomorrow. I actually have a list saved of all the softwares that you can use when you're managing rent-to-rent portfolio.
Lovely.
I have it saved somewhere in my drive or wherever, but I'll find you, but not today, tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Jack, can I have that as well?
Yeah, of course. Just ask me tomorrow. I'll send it across to you, all of you. Okay.
Yeah.
I will repeat this, please, guys. Look, the biggest challenge most people face is, okay, here is something I can tell you with, I'm very, very open. Okay. Look, you have the likes of Rob Moore. Okay. He is more experienced than I am. Yes. If let's say you go and listen to Saj Hussain, okay, he's based in Birmingham, right? I spoke with him last time and I said to him, I learned from you, you're more experienced. He says, I'm not sure who is more experienced, okay? Now, if you go and listen to everyone, you're gonna get confused. I am not saying don't listen to them, but try to filter out what you need and focus on what I'm sharing with you now, okay? Because remember, I said to you, networking comes secondary, planning uplifts comes secondary. The first step that comes in your journey is your cash flow. If you are not making money hand in, hand out, how are you going to focus on anything else? I could show you a way to make £1 million in the next 2 years. How are you going to survive the 2 years? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's almost like the way I look at things is I have managed to get to a point, when I say I, just a lot of humility, I hate using I, but I've managed to get to a point where I am not worried about my bills. I'm not worried about my day-to-day expenses. That comes from my rental income. I can now focus on doing a deal that's going to bring in 100 grand, $250,000, £500,000 or £1 million. You need to get to that point. If I wasn't in the space, I would actually be not spending too much time on trying to look for planning uplifts. Okay? I have managed to get to the level of the investor. Remember the 3 layers that I shared with you? The mechanic, the manager, and then the investor. I've been through the journey. Okay? So you do need to go through this journey. The rent-to-HMO or the rent-to-rent model is actually a management model. Okay? Any more questions?
Yeah,
Yeah, Jack.
Oh.
Yes, please.
No, Grace, go first.
Ahead.
You go first, Grace.
Okay. I have been, trying to call landlords. I've been in front
Okay.
of.
Grace, your voice isn't great. Can you be a bit more louder, please?
Okay.
And get your cough checked. You were coughing last time as well.
I'm still, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's been there. It's been there for a while. I have to go back to my GP, honestly speaking, because it's going away.
All right, go ahead. You've been calling landlords?
Yeah, I've been calling. I've been looking for HMO deals. Yeah, because all I've had right now is I've had a couple of rent to rent, just rent to rent, single rent. So I've been trying to call some for some properties which I've only been found. I've only found them on with estate agents for now, and they haven't been able to. I haven't been able to be put in front of the landlord because they said the landlord doesn't want it. So how do I handle something like that?
Why are you going through agents, Grace? Have I mentioned agents at all in what I just shared with you?
No, what I said is what what I've found so far are with agents.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why are you, Grace, why are you approaching through agents in the first place? There's no need for that.
Okay.
You need to go directly to the landlord. How can you find your way through the landlord is the public registered HMO register and your LinkedIn premium, and also as well as your LinkedIn and Facebook local groups. Okay? Okay. I just need you guys to close your eyes for a second and just listen to what I'm saying. Okay? Please close your eyes. You need to be so obsessively driven. You need to be so obsessively driven to sign up these landlords that you do whatever it takes. Finding landlords isn't the most difficult part. It's getting a yes from them is the difficult part. Finding landlords is easy. You can find them. There's loads and loads of information online, guys. Okay? If you just go and search Google, you go and search these social platforms, there's so many ways that you can find this information. Okay? I'm not gonna tell you the exact context because I'm not allowed to, but I was given 4.5 million database of landlords by someone. I didn't take it because it's illegal. Okay? 4.5 million. The reason I decided not to take it was I could have only maybe used a very small fraction of it. But I just thought, okay, I'm going to approach these landlords. They're going to ask me, where did you find it? Where did you find our information? And I actually wouldn't have an answer because that was the illegal way. I actually said to the guys, I'm going to go and find it the legal way. And when I ring these landlords, I tell them, look, this is how I found your details. You can open your eyes, guys. Do whatever it takes to find these landlords and just build your Rent-to-HMO portfolio. I was looking at the Slough's HMO landlords spreadsheet, and I could see the names of landlords keep getting repeated after every other few columns. Because it's the same baby boomers, 60 plus, 65 plus, who own 5, 10, 20 HMOs in their own region. Repeated names, back to back. Most of them Asians. Most of them Asians. Just be aware, because remember, property is a game of mostly Asians and Africans, because we want to work hard and we want to create that wealth. We are more driven, we are more hungry. Okay? When you approach, do whatever it takes to build that rapport. Okay? I promise you, I can jump on a call and I'm thinking on my toes to how I can build more rapport, how can I create more trust, how can I find a creative way to pitch this. I am thinking all the time about this when I'm pitching for anything. When I'm pitching for anything, it's all about just focus and saying, I'm going to get this sheet. I'm going to find the local landlords. I mean, in fact, I still remember in Slough, they used to have a networking breakfast club. Breakfast club. I used to go to the breakfast club. This is a long time ago. Okay. And I got to know the local landlords there. I got to know the local builders there. Okay. And when I was doing my refurbs in Slough, these were the same builders I started calling. Okay. When I needed properties, these are the same landlords I was calling. It's the same with Blackpool as well. There are 862 registered hotels in Blackpool. I have viewed more than 100 of them. Do you want to give me a percentage to what that means in a local region? That's about 15%, just shy of 15%. I have viewed 15% of the hotels in a region that I wanted to invest. Please raise your hand if you think that is just crazy. Do you think that's crazy? Yeah? Well, it's not. It's not crazy enough. It should have been more like 300 hotels in an 800 hotel town. And I'm like, okay, I'm close to 50%. Are you with me? That's how much focused you need to be. That's how much detailed you need to be. You're pitching, and you keep improving your pitch every step of after every call. Okay. So if someone said no to you, now the question is, why did that person say no to you? You write all the objections you dealt with, and then you improve them, and then you make your next call. Are you with me? Let me give you some numbers. Let me give you some numbers. Okay. If you can get to, let's say, 15 HMOs, 15, neither 10 nor 20, the middle ground, 15, you get to what you call the 10 grand a month mark. Do you want to make a wild guess to where you will be standing in comparison to the percentage of people who make 120 grand a year?
About 1%, right?
You are in the top 10%.
Yeah.
Now imagine 10 people walking and you are the top one out of the 10 walking out there. Getting to 15 Rent-to-HMOs, I'm saying with humility, I could do it in 12 months. Only two reasons, okay? One, focus, obsessive focus. You might say it's unhealthy. Be my guest, it's not. But 12 months, if you can't obsessively focus for 12 months to be in the top 10%, how are you going to make it to the top 3%? That's a lot tougher. Okay? But I promise you, when you get to that 10 grand mark, not just that your life becomes easy, you have more freedom, you have more better lifestyle, and you can travel and you can buy whatever the hell you want, and the bills become so much more easier and everything else at the back of that. You now have the freedom to focus on the strategy that makes you the most profit, which is now planning uplifts. Now, I'm not saying while you focus on Rent-to-HMO, you don't spend no time on planning uplifts. You maybe invest 1 hour a day, or maybe half an hour a day, let's say 4 hours a week. Are you with me?
Yes.
But please do not focus all your time on anything else. Let's say half an hour of planning uplifts, half an hour of networking, that's 1 hour. I don't know how many hours you work. You may work 8 hours, that's 7 hours of your Rent-to-HMO. Or you work 10 hours, that's your 9 hours of Rent-to-HMO. I don't know how many hours you work. For me, when I'm down, for any damn reason, I am like 16 hours on it, 18 hours on it. Okay? I'm not saying that's you. All I'm saying is that's me. Okay? How do you see yourself and how focused you are and how your life is structured? I'll let you decide that. Okay? But it's just obsessive focus, really getting work done. You know, when you get to that level, I promise you, when you will be speaking with other prolific people and or seasoned investors, your pitch and your tone will change. You will sound completely different from what you sound like now. There will be a lot more humble confidence built in. Does that make sense? Okay? Like you literally be speaking with people and you wouldn't hesitate saying no. No, I don't want to take this because it's not worth my time. But you say it with humility. Are you with me? Any questions? Grace.
No.
Yeah, Grace, sorry, Moro, I'm going to come back to you. Grace, you were saying you're speaking with agents. They're never going to put you through to their client. If they put you through to their client, they get cut off. There's nothing they can do. Okay? Just stick to what I'm sharing with you. Do your local networking. And remember, when you do your local networking to grow your Rent-to-HMO portfolio, you also grow what you call the PN community. And at the back of that, you can get more deals done, which is your finance deals, your flip deals, you're sourcing it to others, and a bunch of other things which may not even need a lot of your time. Are you with me? You might meet a local landlord, and he says, you know what, I'm looking to buy another HMO. And then you've met another landlord HMO who doesn't want to give you the property to manage, but wants to maybe sell. You create that connection, you get that deal done, you make 3, 4, 5 grand. I get this done all the time. Okay, I was on a call last night trying to get a hotel deal done. If it goes through, I make 3 grand. I was on call for like a few minutes. No big deal. Okay. But the main focus is growing your cash flow. And you spend a little bit of time or you invest a little bit of your time on planning uplifts game take time. You need to understand the depth of planning, the depth of development, the depth of appraising, the depth of negotiation. That takes time. Okay. Unless you've not watched 190 hours of videos, that only teaches you so much. You still need a lot more hands-on experience with developments and planning uplifts, which I will take you through. But I can only take you through that when you are creating your own cash in the first place. Remember, I am not making anything when you make cash flow. All I'm trying to do is make you completely independent so you can grow this cash flow for yourself, and then we can get larger deals done. Are you with me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. If you end up sourcing a deal between all of this and you take my help, we split 50-50, that's a different story. Okay. I will repeat this because this is so important. Obsessive focus towards making calls. If you are making 100 calls a day, that's what I call real work. That's what I call real work. If I'm making 20 calls a day, I'm like, that's a crappy day. Okay. If I'm not speaking with at least 40, 50 people within the network and understanding their challenges and not proposing something at the back of that, I'm actually not doing a good job. Are you with me?
Yes.
Let me share with you something that's so you can see through. And I don't know, if you guys have kids, I've not asked about your personal life. Okay. I've got 2 kids, young kids. It's just literally like having another business, right? I'm running around all the time like a crazy headless chicken, okay? But at the same time, I still come back and work 4, 5, 6, whatever hours I can. I'm sitting on my phone, I'm networking, I'm looking at deals. When I get 15 minutes gap in the middle, it's almost like I'm doing 10 things at a time while I'm growing a young family. Are you with me? Okay? It's all got to be done. It's all got to be done. We still need to close deals. You don't get paid unless you close deals. I don't get paid unless I close deals. Okay? I only get major chunk of money coming in when I close deals. Okay? Either, like I said, it is £2,000 or £250,000 or £500,000. It only comes in when the deals close. Okay? In fact, I should have recorded yesterday's call when I was trying to negotiate these deals. I mean, at the end of it, both parties, the buyer and the seller, they're like, you know what, amazing how you've been trying to negotiate both of us. I asked one party a step closer and then the other party a step closer. So it's almost like I'm negotiating, you know, like in £10 and £20. And the gap was like a 500 a month. Okay? £10 here, £10 there, £10 here, £20 there. And they're looking at me, they're thinking, you know, this is amazing how he's doing it. And at the end, they actually said, you know, amazing how you managed to get us so closer. And now the gap was like £100 a month. And I turned up to them and said, it's an 18 months contract, guys. It's £1,800. I mean, we guys end up spending money like that for nothing sometimes. You know, and it almost like I was indirectly telling them, grow up, guys. You know, don't lose a deal for £1,800. Okay? But that's something you have to do sometimes. When you're negotiating with a landlord and the guy says, I want 2,000, and you're thinking, I can only pay you 15. One step closer at a time, the gap is £500. Okay? How about if I pay you 15.20? How about if I pay you 15.35? Natasha, can you see where I'm going with this? Okay? I want to work with you. I want to work with you. But I can't take it at 2,000 because that means I'm not going to make a profit. That means I don't end up paying my bills for my family. Okay? But I can look after your property, give you a complete hassle-free arrangement, and that means I can only afford to pay you 1,600. Would you like to take 1,600? Hassle-free altogether. Okay, no? Okay, how about 1,650? Okay, I can't do any more than 1,700. You look at 1,700, you think I still make £600. I'd rather take it. Are you with me on this? Okay?
Yeah.
And remember, you've done a conservative appraisal and you're making 600 at a conservative appraisal. Now it's your job to go and say, okay, instead of charging 150, can I charge 160 a month? Oh, sorry, 160 a week. And all of a sudden now you go from 600 to charging £10 a month for 6 rooms. That's 60 a week. That's 250 or 250. Yeah, about 250 a month more. Are you with me? Can you see where I'm going with this? You have to be very, very conscious about your profits and your detail. Okay? If you can't make money on one end, that means negotiating the rent. You try and push it on the other end. That means charging the tenant. You know, if let's say they're using too much electricity, turn up to them and said, look, if you keep using electricity like that, I'm going to have to pass on the extra bill to you. Here is what I'll pay the 600, but if it's more than 600, I'll just forward it to you. Are you with me? Let them become more conscious. Okay? So you don't end up paying, let's say you're expecting 600 and you're going to end up paying 8. Okay? All right, guys. Any questions just on this?
No,
Jack.
No,
yeah,
ask yours.
Go ahead, Baro.
Yeah.
No, Jack. My question is on this, but also on the whole call. So Jack, maybe I don't know. I need about 5 minutes from you. I don't know if anyone else has questions. That's why I want to ask you something.
You mean one-to-one, not with everyone?
We can do everyone. Yeah, we can do everyone. It's fine.
Please go ahead. Please ask.
It might
please
help
ask.
them. It might help them, Jack. So basically,
Please,
Jack,
please do ask.
I'll be as quick as I can, Jack. I don't want to take everyone's time.
No.
Basically, Jack, I don't know if you remember. I met a friend. I'll try and be as quick as I can, Jack. I met a friend in January, and basically, this friend, Jack, knows a landlord. He knows a landlord, Jack, with over 100 properties, right? Yeah. So this guy has over 100 properties. Funny enough, Jack, his name is Richard Saeed. So there you go. What you said earlier about Asian and stuff.
Oh yeah. I meet more Asians or Indians than I can imagine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened, Jack, is because I told him at the time, hey, I need money. not currently working, etc., you know, which is why we're having this call, you know, to bring in cash flow. And the guy said to me, okay, let me speak to Richard and let's see if I can get you in as a lettings, they call it lettings negotiator.
Yeah, letting
So you can make,
negotiator.
yeah, so you can make some money. So cut a long story short, Jack, I'm now working with them and I make a commission, Jack, on 3% on every room I rent.
Okay.
So to make the numbers make sense, Jack, let's say a room, Jack, is 9,000 a year. I will make 3% of the 9,000 once that room is rented, but it's a one-time fee. It's not a commission.
Okay.
So so my question to you, Jack, is because I'm making this money, but it's a one-time.
That's like £300 or £270.
Exactly. So Jack, it's literally £270 per room, literally.
Yeah.
So far, Jack, I've made 1,000, which means I've done 4 rooms. But Jack, this money is not passive. So my question to you, Jack, is, do I carry on with this guy and keep it going because he has so many more rooms, or Jack, do I do this and then in tandem also reach out the Rent-to-HMO landlords to make them passive income, because the passive income is what we want.
You've answered this yourself in tandem.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Remember, if there's money coming in from one source, don't put a stop to it unless you've created money elsewhere.
Right. Okay.
So in tandem, but be conscious about the amount of time you're investing into it. You don't want to sit there and say, okay, I have made 1,000, but it took me like a whole month of 8 hours a day, and that's obviously crappy. Yeah.
And that's what happened, Jack. I don't mean to cut you, Jack, but
that's what happened. So yeah, you need to be conscious. So it's almost like, okay, I'm going to invest. Let's say I'm going to invest 7 days a month here, irrespective, but then I'm going to invest more time on my end so I can create more income from myself for passive rather than working for him.
Yeah, Jack, yes, Jack, because to explain more, and I don't mind, Jack, sharing with Natasha and Grace, because this might be good for them as well, just in case they fall into the same situation. Yeah. Because Jack, so basically, Jack, I have to do everything. That's why, Jack, I know about Spare Room. So I have to put the ad on Spare Room. I have to do the marketing. I am the one that goes in, does the pictures. I'm the one that, Jack, that does the viewings. And then, Jack, after all of that, I then, Jack, help them through what's it called again? The reference phase. So once they pay for the reference and everything, etc., I kind of follow up with them. How you doing? Is it going well? Do you need any assistance? So Jack, I'm doing all of that. In a way, Jack.
Do you know how much local agents charge for this service? It's 8%. It's 8%.
Right.
Okay. The reason they have managed to get you to agree at 3%, because they saw someone who's a newbie.
Right. Okay.
If I was you, I'd go back and negotiate that figure.
Right. Jack, do you advise him to probably ask them for 5% maybe?
I personally wouldn't. If it's local rate 8%, I'll probably do it for 7, not 5.
Right. And Jack, you can see why I wanted the guidance, Jack, because I'm just thinking, what do I do going here in tandem? Do I ask them for more, etc.? Because
in tandem, because remember, you still want to have some money coming in.
Of course.
Look, okay. Imagine, I'll give you an example, okay, so you can see through a bit more. If let's say you're in a job and you're working 9 to 5, and you want to now create a full-time property business and or investment portfolio. Right. You need to zoom out slowly from your job. So let's say you do 40-hour job.
Right.
Try to go from 40 to 35.
Okay.
And then create income on this side. That means the property side. And then you go from 35 to 30 and 30 to 25 and 25 to, and you can do it in blocks of 1 hour. It doesn't have to be a block of 5 hours. So you can go from 40 to 39, 39 to 38, and so on and so forth. Till you get to a point where now you're investing maybe 20 hours in your job, but then you've created enough income on your property side to replace your job income, and you say, you know what, goodbye job.
Right. Okay.
That's what you got to do. If you do it in one go and you don't get it right, it's not the best place to be in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's almost like slowly zooming out. And another thing that you will learn when you go further is that, let's say you get to now 10 grand a month and you're managing and you're spending a lot of time in managing these properties. Right. Now it's time to go and hire someone, and you go and hire someone. Now you're paying this guy 3,000 a month.
Right.
But he's now covering 50% of your work. But then it gives you 50% more time to go and find more properties.
Right.
Keep adding on to your portfolio. So it's almost like
Right.
you're zooming out and doing less and less work and delegating every step of the way at every step in your life. I do that even right now.
Right. Okay.
So
I understand
two
you.
of my hotels are under hybrid management. One of the hotels is leased out. It was under management before. I have a virtual team that I work with. Even right now, I have a bunch of people that kind of look for properties for me, and so on and so forth. And within the network, I do a whole bunch of things. You know, finance applications. There's a bunch of collaborations. People do applications for me. I don't do finance applications anymore. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a whole, you know, team of people doing things on multiple levels with multiple collaborations in place. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm even at this stage of, you know, where I am, I still keep zooming out and delegating. And I know people even at the billions level still do this. So they keep delegating and keep zooming out to grow their portfolio, irrespective of the kind of portfolio they might be on.
Okay. Okay. No, I totally understand, Jack. I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Any more questions?
No, Jack. So basically, just to make sure I understand what you're saying is, continue doing this work that I'm doing. It's still money coming in, obviously. You know, yes, it takes work, but it's money coming in.
Go back and negotiate. Tell them, look, so pull out some data, call a few agents and say, what do you charge? And take that data to these guys and say, look, I spoke with this agent, he charges 8%, he charges 10%, so on and so forth. I will do it for less, but I'm not going to sit there and cut it by half.
Right.
Okay. So if they're charging 8%, I can do it for 7%. Worst case scenario, 6%, no less.
Okay.
You're still doubling your income.
Yeah. Okay. And then at the same time, reach out to Rent-to-HMO landlords.
You're exactly in tandem. You're working on your Rent-to-HMO portfolio. In tandem, reach out to the local developers who are not able to sell their properties and say, look, would you like me to manage these on a rental basis for you? And if you get the block, why not? You know, just charge 15%. Don't take the risk on you.
Jack, how do I find this developer, Jack? Because that and the reason I'm saying that, Jack, is because all the experience I'm learning from doing this, everything that I'm learning is I know it's going to be useful, because you know, if I go to a developer and he asks me, do you have experience managing a portfolio? I said, yeah, I got a guy with 100 flats.
Exactly. Yeah. You can even give my name.
Right. Okay.
Give my name. Say I work alongside Jack. He's the one who's you know, training me on this. You know, he's got experience and he's right behind me.
Yeah.
Use my name, because sometimes you do come across a lot of people who say, you know, what experience have you got? And if you haven't managed these before, they might be skeptical. Just say, you know, I can arrange a call with you, with you know, me. I'm happy to jump on a quick 5-minute call. If it helps you take your, you know, 2 or 3 properties, I don't mind.
Yeah. No. So Jack, sorry, you said to find them where on Google? You said.
So you mean the developers, right?
Yeah, the developers who might have a big block. Yeah.
The local developers is easy. 2 ways. Okay. One is by walking around, driving around. Okay.
Okay.
Second is go to your local council's website and the planning portal. In most websites that I've seen, the council's website, it gives you an option to get notifications. So when someone applies for planning, you get a notification because you're a local resident.
Right.
Okay. And that means immediately someone has applied for planning permission and you now have got a notification. And if it's just an extension, you know, maybe just ignore it. But if it's a multi-unit development, immediately approach and say, look, whenever you've built, here is who I am, and I'll be happy to manage it for you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jack.
Any more questions, Grace?
Just a quick one, Jack. I was speaking with a friend of mine 2 days ago. I was actually going to call you on this, but you know, just while we are here, I can quickly run it over with you, and then so that you know the others can also probably learn from it. A friend of mine did send me something on WhatsApp whereby she wants to work with me, right? So she hold on, let me quickly. She wants to work with me on a project, okay? Because she got this investors that want that direct investors, and she wants us to work together. And the investors is looking for a property. Let me, you know what? Let me just send it.
Just do the introduction and I'll be able to guide you through it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you. Okay. Some of them I can do. They want a purchase price, a budget. They want they want me to pack this. She can't do it actually. I can do some of them, but not all of them. So she wants let me send it to you so that you can.
Send it across to me. Grace, do me a favor. Send it across tomorrow rather than today. I actually have a few things lined up. I may not be able to focus.
Yeah, okay. Well, she just wants me to put it.
Send it to me tomorrow.
Package it, like a portfolio, or I mean, no, package it like a PowerPoint. You understand, where she can be able to see all the fees, purchase price, sourcing fees, stamp duty, legal, broker fees, surveyor, refurbish, contingency plan, project management. That one, I know that's a hard one, right? Okay. Insurance, council tax, and agency selling fee. So she wants me to put all those together, find a deal and put all those together and send it to her.
Okay, send it across to me. I'll have a look. I'm unsure as to what does she want from me. It's a bit ambiguous. Okay, so send it across to me. I'll have a look at it. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to send. I've sent it to you now, so you can have a look.
No problem. I'll reply to you tomorrow, hopefully, Grace. I won't reply today. I have too much going on. I don't think I'll be able to. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Natasha, any questions?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
All right, okay, I'm going to stop the recording first. So just give me 1 second, because this was recorded.